make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
We here to handle the business, not let the business handle us. That's what we are elected to do, sir. So please.
It's her fault. It's her problem, her responsibility, and she failed. She's failed.
In the small town of Dune, Illinois, local politics have taken an unexpectedly dramatic turn, captivating residents and onlookers alike. If you thought small-town governance couldn't get more fascinating, think again. This saga has it all. From accusations of financial mismanagement to heated township meetings, with tensions rising as the situation continues to unfold. At the heart of this political storm is Tiffany Henyard, who has dubbed herself the super mayor of the suburb. Henyard, known for her bold leadership style and larger-than-life persona, is now embroiled in a series of controversies that have left the community on edge. It all started when Henyard faced allegations of misusing taxpayer funds, which were allegedly diverted for personal gain or improperly allocated to projects that lacked transparency. These claims have sparked outrage among residents, some of whom demand that Henyard be held accountable for her actions. Adding fuel to the fire, there have been rumors of unpaid rent from municipal buildings, further complicating the already tense situation. Some are questioning whether Henyard's financial management of the town's resources is up to par, while others believe that her unorthodox approach is damaging the town's reputation. As the accusations and rumors swirl, talk of potential arrests for improper conduct has begun to emerge, with a few residents wondering whether legal action will be the next step in this ongoing drama. Despite the growing controversy, Henyard has shown little sign of backing down. Known for her theatrical presence at township meetings, she has frequently turned these gatherings into elaborate performances, using them as platforms for grandstanding rather than focusing on the issues at hand. Many attendees have voiced frustration with what they see as an ongoing spectacle, with some even going so far as to label these meetings a show rather than a serious venue for governance. As Henyard continues to dominate these proceedings, it's clear that the real work of managing the town is often sidelined in favor of personal theatrics. Dune residents are divided in their opinions of Henyard. Supporters argue that her boldness and unconventional leadership style are exactly what the town needs, believing that her larger-than-life approach could shake up the status quo and drive the town forward. On the other hand, detractors accuse her of creating chaos, prioritizing personal gain over the welfare of the community, and failing to manage the town responsibly. As this drama unfolds, tensions within the community are rising. Every township meeting seems to be a new chapter in the ongoing saga, with the fate of Henyard's political future hanging in the balance. Whether she will be able to weather the storm, or if her controversial leadership will come to an end, remains to be seen. One thing is for certain: Illinois' politics have never been more unpredictable, and Dune is at the center of it all. What started as a small-town issue has turned into a spectacle that has captured the attention of many, and as the drama unfolds, it remains to be seen what consequences, if any, Henyard and her supporters will face. For now, the small town of Dune remains a political circus, with no clear end in sight.
South suburban Dalton today. First, the state comptroller has suspended some payments to the village because it has failed to follow the law by providing financial support.
Tiffany Henyard, elected mayor of Dalton in 2021, has quickly become one of the most polarizing figures in local politics. Known for her bold approach to leadership, Henyard has made headlines for a number of controversial actions that have left residents questioning her commitment to the town she governs. Among the accusations against her are claims of lavish spending with taxpayer dollars and using the local police force for personal protection. Yet the most recent scandal to shake the community involves Henyard facing eviction from her own home due to non-payment of rent. Yes, you read that correctly. Despite earning nearly $300,000 annually from her combined positions as mayor and town supervisor, Henyard has allegedly stopped making rent payments for the Dalton property she shares with her boyfriend, Kamal Woods. According to her landlord, Janetta Hall, Henyard and Woods have not paid rent since August, and now Hall is in the process of submitting eviction papers to remove the mayor from the home. This unexpected twist in Henyard's political saga has raised eyebrows across the community. Her role as a public official has led many to question how someone in such a high-paying position could fall behind on rent. Henyard, who has often portrayed herself as a champion of the people, now faces the scrutiny of residents who are growing increasingly frustrated with her actions. While Henyard's lavish spending on town projects has already drawn criticism, the news of her eviction has taken things to a new level. Critics have pointed out the stark contrast between the mayor's high salary and her inability to meet basic financial obligations, which has many wondering where the town's resources are truly going. Further fueling the fire is the fact that Henyard has reportedly used local police officers to ensure her safety and security, a move some see as an unnecessary use of taxpayer-funded resources for personal purposes. Despite the mounting controversies, Henyard remains defiant. She has dismissed the allegations as politically motivated and has even suggested that the eviction proceedings are part of a larger attempt to undermine her leadership. Supporters of the mayor argue that she has been unfairly targeted, and some even claim that the accusations are driven by envy or opposition from those seeking to weaken her position. However, the growing tensions in Dolton are undeniable. Many residents who once saw Henyard as a political outsider with the potential to bring change are now disillusioned with her leadership. Her failure to fulfill her basic financial responsibilities, coupled with her extravagant spending and use of police protection, has left many questioning her priorities and competence as a public servant. As the eviction case moves forward, Henyard's political future hangs in the balance. While some believe she can weather the storm, others feel that the latest scandal may be the breaking point for her leadership. The town of Dolton, once a quiet suburb, has become the stage for a political drama that shows no signs of slowing down for now. Henyard's troubles continue to mount, and as her eviction looms, it remains to be seen whether she can regain the trust of the community or if her time as mayor will come to an abrupt end. What started as a promising political career has quickly descended into chaos, and Dolton residents are watching closely to see how this chapter in their town's history will unfold.
In Thornton Township, the board and citizens looking for accountability to their finances, while the township super...
Tiffany Henyard's leadership style has garnered more attention for its resemblance to a reality TV villain than that of a traditional public servant. The mayor of Dolton, Illinois, has managed to spark a series of controversies that have drawn the ire of both residents and the media. Among the most shocking is the ongoing drama surrounding her rental property, which has now escalated into an increasingly bitter dispute with her landlord, Janetta Hall. Henyard, along with her partner Kamal Woods, is accused of owing thousands of dollars in unpaid rent for their Dolton home. The situation has worsened with claims that Henyard and Woods went as far as changing the locks and garage code on the property to prevent Hall from accessing the house. Hall, who is now facing the possibility of losing the property to foreclosure, has expressed her outrage over the situation, noting that this issue has gone beyond financial concerns. For her, it's no longer just about the money. It's about standing up to what she perceives as a gross abuse of power. This ongoing dispute has placed Hall in a difficult position. While she initially rented her property to Henyard in good faith, she now finds herself locked in a standoff with a high-profile tenant who refuses to pay rent. Hall's frustration is palpable, as she claims that the circumstances have left her struggling financially. With the looming threat of foreclosure hanging over her head, Henyard's refusal to settle the matter has only intensified Hall's feelings of betrayal, leading her to demand that the mayor and her partner vacate the premises for good. In Hall's view, this isn't just a matter of missed rent payments. It's about Henyard's behavior undermining her property rights and her livelihood. This latest controversy is far from the first for Henyard. Her leadership has been marked by an array of eyebrow-raising decisions and actions, some of which have earned her comparisons to a reality TV antagonist. Critics argue that her style of governance is less about serving the public and more about putting on a show, with Henyard frequently displaying a flair for drama and spectacle that would be more at home on a reality TV screen than in a local government office. Henyard's relationship with Dolton's residents has become increasingly strained as her personal drama unfolds in public. Once seen as an outsider with the potential to bring fresh leadership to the town, she is now viewed by many as a divisive figure, more focused on personal gains than fulfilling her duties as mayor. The dispute with her landlord has only added fuel to the fire, casting a shadow over her already tarnished reputation. Despite the growing backlash, Henyard has shown little sign of stepping back from the spotlight. Her combative response to the accusations coupled with her unorthodox and often controversial approach to leadership, has only served to further alienate those who once supported her. For Hall, the situation has become untenable. As the mayor's personal issues continue to play out in public, the landlord is left to navigate a financial and emotional predicament that seems to have no end in sight. The unfolding drama between Henyard and Hall is a microcosm of the larger chaos that has characterized Henyard's time in office. While some continue to rally behind her, others are left questioning her ability to lead with integrity. With the stakes now higher than ever, Henyard's political future seems uncertain, and Dolton residents are watching closely to see how this latest scandal will unfold.
Motion to terminate Keith Free.
Tiffany Henyard's tumultuous time as mayor of Dolton has been marked by ongoing conflicts, one of the most significant being her bitter feud with the Dolton trustees. The trustees have leveled serious accusations against Henyard, ranging from falsifying checks to concealing financial documents, fueling a growing sense of distrust and division. As the political drama intensifies, it seems that the relationship between Henyard and the trustees has reached a boiling point, with both sides accusing each other of corruption and misconduct. This already charged atmosphere took another dramatic turn during a recent Facebook Live broadcast, where Henyard launched into a heated rant that lasted nearly 90 minutes. During the session, Henyard vowed to seek the arrests of her political opponents, though she did not specify what crimes they had allegedly committed. Her fiery words only added to the escalating tension, leaving many wondering if her statements were just another example of her flair for the dramatic or if there was any real legal basis behind them. In true Henyard fashion, her remarks were delivered with the kind of conviction one might expect from someone who had watched too many legal dramas, leaving viewers to question whether she fully understood the implications of her words. Amidst the chaos, the trustees have taken legal action, filing a lawsuit against Henyard in a bid to hold her accountable for what they describe as her misconduct. The trustees' decision to take this step underscores the seriousness of the allegations and the depth of the rift between the two sides. With each party accusing the other of corruption, the political climate in Dolton has become increasingly hostile, with no clear resolution in sight. Henyard's handling of the situation has been anything but conventional. Rather than addressing the issues calmly and professionally, she has made headlines for her dramatic outbursts and unorthodox approach to leadership. This has left many residents questioning her ability to govern effectively and whether her personal vendettas are getting in the way of the town's well-being. Her combative relationship with the trustees, along with the growing legal battles, paints a picture of a leader embroiled in controversy and turmoil. The political crisis in Dolton shows no signs of abating, as both Henyard and the trustees continue to escalate their public accusations and legal actions, with both sides seemingly dug in for the long haul. The fate of Henyard's leadership is more uncertain than ever. Whether she can regain control of the situation or if this ongoing conflict will ultimately lead to her downfall remains to be seen. What is clear, however, is that Dolton politics have reached a fever pitch, and Henyard is at the heart of the storm.
But it's just something we felt important that had to be done, that should be done. So, but like I said, you have just some accountability.
The irony surrounding Tiffany Henyard's leadership is hard to ignore. The same mayor who was caught earlier this year using tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars on lavish first-class flights, luxurious hotel stays, and fine dining in cities like New York and Atlanta, is now accusing her political opponents of corruption. Henyard, who is currently under federal investigation for her extravagant spending and alleged misuse of public funds, seems to have no qualms about pointing fingers at others. One particularly shocking detail that has come to light is Henyard's spending spree on Amazon. According to an unforgettable report, Henyard spent a staggering $43,000 in a single day on the retail giant, hardly the kind of expenditure one would expect for purchasing office supplies for the village. Instead, it appears to have been more of a personal shopping spree, with taxpayer dollars footing the bill. This discovery has raised further concerns about her financial management, with critics questioning whether her spending habits align with her duties as a public servant. Her spending has not only drawn ire from residents, but has also caught the attention of former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who was tasked with investigating Dolton's financial affairs. The findings were nothing short of alarming. Under Henyard's leadership, Dolton's general fund balance plummeted from $561 million in 2022 to a deficit of $365 million by May 2024. That's a jaw-dropping $9 million swing in less than 2 years. The town's fiscal situation has deteriorated dramatically, leaving many to wonder how much of this decline can be attributed to Henyard's questionable spending decisions. The situation has become even more concerning given Henyard's ongoing accusations of corruption against her political opponents. With her own financial practices under intense scrutiny, her public claims of corruption seem even more contradictory. As federal investigations into her spending habits continue, the question arises: can a leader who has shown such a blatant disregard for public funds credibly point the finger at others? Henyard's fiscal mismanagement and penchant for extravagant spending have overshadowed her leadership, making it increasingly difficult for residents to trust her with the town's finances. The irony of her accusing others of corruption while under investigation herself has only added to the growing disillusionment among Dolton residents. With the town's finances in disarray and Henyard's political future in question, the consequences of her actions could have long-lasting effects on both her career and the community she governs.
Appointment, that's what the trustees I talked to are calling this. They say the news took them by surprise, and now they're talking to legal counsel to figure out their next.
The village of Dolton has found itself in dire straits due to Tiffany Henyard's reckless spending spree, which has not only damaged the town's reputation, but also left local businesses struggling to survive. In one particularly egregious example, it was discovered that at least 589 checks, totaling over $6 million, were printed but never sent to vendors. As a result, these vendors were left unpaid, and essential services that the community relies on were put in jeopardy. With federal authorities reportedly investigating Dolton's financial affairs, it's clear that these issues are far from resolved. The extent of the financial mismanagement is now under a microscope, and it seems likely that the investigation will uncover even more troubling details about Henyard's handling of taxpayer funds. Henyard's political opponents have seized upon this situation as evidence that she has consistently prioritized her own lavish lifestyle over the needs of the very people she was elected to serve. Critics argue that her extravagant spending habits, ranging from first-class flights to $43,000 Amazon shopping sprees, show a disregard for Dolton's financial stability, leaving the town in a precarious position. While Henyard enjoys a lavish lifestyle, the residents of Dolton are left to deal with the consequences of her financial mismanagement. As federal authorities delve deeper into Dolton's finances, it's becoming increasingly clear that the problems Henyard has caused are not going away anytime soon. The impact of her actions is being felt by the businesses and residents who depend on the town's resources, leaving many questioning whether Henyard is truly fit to lead. With mounting evidence of her mismanagement and the town's financial woes continuing to grow, the pressure is mounting on Henyard to address the damage she's done and restore trust in her leadership.
I'm not paying whatever that vendor is.
What was it for?
It was for shirts. That's what it's for.
Does Tiffany Henyard express any regret for the financial turmoil in Dolton? Of course not. Instead of taking responsibility for the village's dire straits, she has doubled down on her self-appointed role as the town's savior. In a recent Facebook tirade, Henyard accused her critics of being driven by jealousy and promised to reveal the whole truth later, a line that sounds more like something out of a soap opera than a political response. In the same breath, she insinuated that her opponents were using accusations of her misconduct to deflect attention from their own alleged corruption. "Why is all this attention on me?" Henyard asked, portraying herself as the innocent victim of a grand conspiracy. This narrative, however, has left the people of Dolton scratching their heads, wondering how they ended up with a mayor more interested in playing the victim than actually addressing the real issues plaguing the village. Meanwhile, the town continues to suffer from serious problems that Henyard's leadership has failed to resolve. Water main breaks remain a frequent concern. Vendors are left unpaid, and the police force is stretched thin, too busy serving as Henyard's personal bodyguards to properly address public safety needs. Yet, despite these pressing issues, Henyard insists that everything she does is for the good of the people, as if her lavish spending somehow benefits the community. The disconnect between Henyard's words and the reality on the ground is glaring. While she portrays herself as a defender of Dolton, residents are left wondering if her actions reflect a true commitment to the town or if she's more focused on bolstering her own image. The people of Dolton deserve a leader who is willing to tackle their problems head-on, not one who seems more invested in perpetuating a personal narrative of victimhood.
Really not guilty of all 9 counts. I believe he's cooperating. And if you cooperate, you have to.
A recent investigation into Tiffany Henyard's use of village resources has revealed a series of startling and troubling expenditures. Village credit cards were allegedly used for everything from high-end furniture to travel expenses for taxpayer-funded trips to Las Vegas. To add insult to injury, Henyard's face was plastered all over town in a billboard campaign that made it seem as though Dolton was her personal playground, free for her to do as she pleased. Perhaps the most egregious example of her extravagance was a lavish $85,000 party she hosted, featuring rapper Jay Holiday and R&B singer Keisha Cole, while the town's finances were in freefall. All this while Dolton was struggling with serious financial issues, including unpaid vendors and mounting debt. Henyard's ostentatious spending paints a picture of a mayor more focused on self-promotion and indulgence than addressing the urgent problems facing the village. As the financial situation in Dolton took a nosedive, Henyard's actions seem to have been anything but in service to the community. Instead, they reflect a reckless disregard for the very public funds she was entrusted with, raising serious questions about her priorities and leadership. The people of Dolton are left to wonder how much more of this unchecked spending will be uncovered as the investigation continues.
One day purchase of over $40,000 to Amazon. And the main thing is,
as if the situation couldn't get any stranger, the most recent township meeting led by Tiffany Henyard devolved into what can only be described as a live-action dumpster fire. What was supposed to be a session focused on important township business quickly spiraled into chaos, with Henyard clashing with the trustees and displaying a shocking level of petty behavior. One of the most dramatic moments came when Henyard forbade Trustee Coro from participating in the meeting remotely, despite valid safety concerns that kept her from attending in person. Coro had expressed her concerns about attending due to health and safety reasons, but Henyard rejected her colleagues' legitimate worries with a dismissive and snobbish attitude. Instead of fostering a collaborative environment, Henyard's refusal to allow Coro to attend virtually only fueled the dysfunction. As the meeting descended further into chaos, the township's business was completely sidelined as Henyard's personal animosities took center stage, leaving residents and fellow trustees questioning her ability to lead effectively. This latest debacle is just another example of how Henyard's leadership has become a series of dramatic and petty distractions, further underscoring the dysfunction that has come to define her time in office. As the latest township meeting unfolded, it became increasingly clear that Tiffany Henyard was more interested in pushing through her own agenda than conducting business in any meaningful way. When it came time to approve the meeting minutes, Henyard behaved like a dictator, attempting to rush the proceedings without any discussion. In a brazen move, she even seconded her own motion when no one else would, a clear violation of parliamentary procedure. As the meeting continued, it was evident that Henyard's primary concern was putting on a show rather than actually accomplishing anything. Things came to a head when Trustee Chris Gonzalez, fed up with the dysfunction, walked out of the meeting. Henyard wasted no time in crafting a narrative that suited her, claiming that Gonzalez had neglected his duties and refused to manage the people's business. Conveniently, she left out the fact that her own actions had caused the meeting to descend into chaos in the first place. It's easy to see why locals are growing more and more frustrated with Henyard's antics. One YouTube commenter summed it up perfectly, saying, "Arrest this clown already." Another didn't hold back either, calling Henyard the worst enemy of the residents by far. Despite the mounting criticism, Henyard has announced she is running for re-election as mayor of Dolton, as though the last few years of scandal and mismanagement never happened. She made the announcement on Facebook, proclaiming, "I am running for re-election for mayor of Dolton," as if she hadn't been embroiled in one controversy after another. Her political opponents, including trusted trustee Jason House, are rallying to challenge her in the upcoming election. But Henyard appears determined to fight tooth and nail to retain her position. Comments like these reflect the growing frustration of Dolton residents, who believe Henyard is more interested in clinging to power than in actually serving the community. Henyard's time as mayor has been marked by chaos, with accusations of corruption, financial mismanagement, and abuse of power piling up faster than she can deny them. The FBI is reportedly investigating her spending habits, adding another layer of uncertainty to her future in office. It's unclear how long Henyard can hold on, but if there's one thing we've learned from her, it's that she's not going down without a fight. Despite her financial records showing little progress in fundraising for her re-election bid, Henyard presses on, continuing her campaign. Her push to stay in power serves as a cautionary tale about what can happen when someone treats public office like their personal playground. The saga of Tiffany Henyard is far from over, and Dolton residents are left wondering what will happen next. Will she maintain her position amid the growing scandals, or is this the beginning of the end for Dolton's self-proclaimed super mayor? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like button if you believe it's time for a change in Dolton's leadership. Henyard's rise to power was swift, but if her downfall is imminent, it's sure to be a spectacular one. The people of Dolton deserve better, and hopefully, they'll have the chance to make their voices heard in the next election.